Do you think perhaps we've lost wisdom? The wisdom that some indigenous people showed, making a decision based on how will this affect our people generations ahead. The deforestation, the spreading of the desert, the shrinking freshwater supplies, the loss of biodiversity, species disappearing either locally or totally with total extinction. We're using up the natural resources as though they're infinite, but they're not. They're finite, and they will run out. Fewer people understand the tremendous harm that's being done. Here are all these problems which we've inflicted on the planet. And it brings me back to the sort of really important question. I've talked a lot about similarities in humans and chimpanzees, but clearly we're different. I mean, look, here we are, and you're listening to my words, and I'm telling you things. You may not want to hear them, but I'm saying them and you understand them. And the biggest difference, I believe, between us and chimpanzees is this explosive development of our intellect. We just created a rocket a few years ago, which went all the way up to Mars, the red planet, and out came a little robot. And that little robot is still crawling around years later, taking photographs for scientists on planet Earth to see what it looks like up there. That's extraordinary, but we've done it. So the question is, how is it possible that the most intellectual creature that's ever walked on planet Earth is destroying its only home? We seem to be bent on destroying this beautiful planet. And it's really sad. Are we too often making decisions based on how will this help me now, or the next shareholders meeting, or my next political campaign? Is there a disconnect between this incredibly clever brain and the human heart, love and compassion? And I truly feel that we can only achieve our true human potential, which is huge, if we have harmony between head and heart. As I was traveling around the world, I met and still meet many young people who seemed not to have much hope for the future. And when I asked them why they were feeling like this, they all said more or less the same. Well, you've compromised our future and there's nothing we can do about it. If our young people lose hope, we may as well give up. When I see small children, I feel so ashamed and angry and desperate when I think how we've harmed the planet since I was that age. But is it true there's nothing that can be done? We have a window of time, a window to start changing the direction. But it depends on changing attitudes. And if we could just get a critical mass of us who start to think about the consequences of the little choices we make each day, what we buy, what we wear, what we eat, how was it made? Did it harm the environment? Did it involve cruelty to animals or people, child slave labor? I think most people, even though they've become aware, do nothing because they feel useless and helpless and hopeless. They tell me so. So we just have to get it through to our thick heads that what we do as an individual, certainly in the big scheme of things, doesn't make a difference, but what we do collectively as billions of human beings making the right ethical choices, that's going to move us in the right direction. What we are capable of doing is incredible. And then there's the resilience of nature. Those are my simplistic reasons for hope, but I believe in them. And it's just a question of changing attitudes. And eventually all these little places will join up and we'll find that we have a very different world, just because we get to finally understand that each and every one of us makes a difference each and every day. And we have a choice. What kind of difference are we going to make?